We in progress. Say it now. I think so.
I'm black and I'm proud.
Welcome to the pod.
Welcome to the pod. Welcome.
Welcome to the pod. Oh man, late. Leave a comment down below. What we should do to him. If he's a no-show, what should we really do?
I think put 20 in the clip for some push-ups.
Something.
Get a 1 in the chat.
One in the chat for some push-ups.
How y'all doing today?
All right.
Hey, it's a little sleepy. The rain really got us going differently out here. It's been raining for the past 5 days. It's unlike Maryland, but
First day it stopped over here.
Yeah, it said it's the first day it stopped, so it stopped like around 12 on my end.
Yeah.
But
right. Well, I hope our viewers are nice and safe though. Some other people got it worse than others. We had there's a lot of rain. There's other people who got their cars washed up. So
yeah, blessings to those people. Hopefully everything is insured and they can get back tenfold what they lost.
Right. All right, start us off, Marlon. You got the better ink shot for 3. Let's go.
I mean, look, what way to start off than how the NBA season is going to start off with these preseason moves? Like, who do you feel had the best moves coming into this 2022-2023 season? Who improved that 2K roster, in your opinion?
2K roster. A lot of things go down in 2K.
Look, a lot of things, but should we honestly, it's on everybody's mind, in my opinion. That Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert trade, they pretty much broke up that 50-win Jazz team, and they kind of set up 3 teams to really compete right now. Because we got to look at the Timberwolves having somebody to really play center. Because we know Karl Anthony Towns is not a center. He doesn't want to play that physical kind of ball. He's a finesse player. He has moves, and he wants to shoot the 3 ball. But then I like what they got over there in Cleveland. People really slept on Darius Garland. When he got in the game, the man had buckets. When Colin Sexton was out, they put that boy in the game. He did his thing. I think he can be a nice 1-2 punch with Donovan Mitchell, to be honest with you. Like, he's a bucket.
Right.
And I really like what they did over there. I want to see what they really do building back up at the big man position, but as far as guard, they're solid. But I'm curious to how the Jazz are going to redo with all this new capital they got. Because they got a lot of wiggle room, and the Timberwolves gave up all their wiggle room. So they got to make something happen with what they picked up right now. It's not really a – go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you, so with all that, who do you feel was the best moves, or who made the best moves you feel in the offseason out of those teams for you?
We're actually seeing the Cavs push for something outside of waiting for LeBron. So I want to say the Cavs, because you really don't see them make any moves besides like, oh, maybe LeBron's going to come back. But no, they're like, oh, let's go get people who are proven stars outside of who LeBron wanted, and let's make a push for something. So they already built through, picking up good pieces, but then they got to make these pieces work together. So I want to say they really set themselves above and beyond for what they did. And I'm just honestly interested to see how the Jazz kind of come out of the Donovan Mitchell and Gobert era. Because they were their highest polarizing people, their highest jersey sales, even Gobert with his, COVID faux pas. Yeah. That was their team right there. No one really talks about, anybody else on that squad besides those 2. Of course, you have your 1s and 2s here where you might say, oh, yeah, they had a good game. But people talk about Gobert and they talk about Mitchell. So when you break that apart, then you get picks in, you get other pieces, but how are those pieces going to work? So I like when somebody really wants to shake it up. You don't see teams really just let go of everything like that at one time.
Yeah, I agree with you, because that I think was smart by the Jazz to make those moves, because I think they felt they reached the limit with that team that's currently constructed. So to get back, I think 4 first-round picks and all those players, I mean,
yeah, and then like
great way to retool.
And then the people they sent away, they're still solid players.
Right.
Like I do like the Celtics pickup. We got Brogdon. That's an interesting pickup because like he gives a good depth, and you know he's a solid player. Like when you think about their depth, you don't think about people having solidness. It's more so they have traits that you wanted. It's like, oh, you can continue the game and you might shine. Like, with all due respect, like with Marcus Smart, he had times when he shined in those finals.
Did you call him?
It was like I said with Marcus Smart.
I thought you said LaMarcus. I was about to laugh.
LaMarcus, you know LaMarcus.
Yeah.
He had times when he shined in the finals, but it wasn't like, oh, he's gonna carry it. He can keep the game going. He didn't have the same transition of keeping the flow of the game going when the starters were out that the Warriors did. I feel Brogdon can kind of carry the game to keep it going because he has that starter mentality.
Yeah, I think it's perfect for Brogdon too because he struggled with Milwaukee. So to give him less pressure now on this Boston's team, I think will actually help him be a better player in their system, especially if they use him like as a six-man, which I think they probably will be inclined to do.
He could potentially become like a 6 man of the year kind of perfect player.
Exactly.
We'll see.
We will see. How about you, Ron? Who you got as one of your best moves on the offseason?
I think Rudy Gobert was the best move. I think Rudy
Gobert.
He
went to?
Yeah, the team he went to. If I had to rank it in order, I would go Wolves, Boston, LA, Cavs are at the end.
Which LA?
I just say that just because it's easier for a role player to come in and play a role versus a superstar. And especially because the thing is you got to keep in mind is prime example, when Kyrie got hurt with Boston, right? And they had all those young pieces, right? Now, you as another team, you can't really pinpoint who's coming to play tonight because everyone's playing team ball. Everyone's coming out and balling, right? So now we got to see the Cavs last year with a Colin Sexton going down. No one wants to see a guy go down. Let's first start off with that. But it allowed them now to say, hey, Darius Garland, go ahead and take off. It allowed him to play ball along with others. And so with Donovan Mitchell coming in, this does fall back to coaching. So let's be real. Coaching does play a part. I'll about say, hey, Donovan Mitchell, go ahead and take the wheel, or Donovan Mitchell come in and be a Jimmy Butler, because that's something I give credit to about Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler knows how to play a role, but he also knows when to come in and be a superstar. I don't know that just yet when it comes to Donovan Mitchell. Right now, I just see Donovan Mitchell as a all-star superstar. Can he sit back and let Darius Garland, be the leader? You know what I'm saying? So I would say from going back to why I picked the Wolves, it's because, we all need defense. And it relinquishes some pressure off of Cat Williams now to play defense. He could just go out there and play, now granted, you still need to play defense, but to have Rudy Gobert now to clog up the paint, now Cat could go out there and dance and everything. Because look what I'm using examples now. Look what Dwight Howard provided to Anthony Davis. Look what JaVale McGee provided to Anthony Davis. They did defense, he did offense, right? Now, when all those guys were hurt and gone, or Jordan, now you're trying to ask a lot of Anthony Davis to go out and play offense and defense, which he's obviously, let's keep it real. He's not obviously built like that. He's not built to do offense and defense. He's just built to do offense. Cat Williams is the same thing. He's not built to do offense and defense. He's just built to do offense. So when you got someone like a Rudy Gobert to come in now, and you got a dude, what's the dude name? Anthony Edwards coming in, growing and everything, it makes life easier for everyone. Now, what's you laughing about? What are you laughing about? You just the life getting stronger and stronger.
You keep calling him Cat Williams, bro.
That's Cat. Was it Carl?
Carl Anthony
Town.
My bad.
I'm sorry.
I was just looking at the vein in your forehead. I was like, it's growing more and more. That's funny.
He said, well, Cat Williams.
Oh, my bad.
He's saying that man a joke.
I know what you trying to get at, but at the same time, I was like, they got one more time, and I'm losing it.
Yeah, my bad. They both got it. They both. And then, touching on Miles Brogdon and everything. Honestly, Boston needs real point guard play. I like Marcus Smart, but Marcus Smart is not a real point guard. If I was to say who can control the tempo of the game better, I would say Brogdon, because going back at it, the problem with Boston was what? Turnovers. They did a lot of turnovers. And Miles Brogdon brings this new thing to them where he can control things. And I think he is going to be a sixth guy coming off. But who knows, with a new coach, probably be the coach and everything, and he can't control the team, or he can't really, you know what it is, because sometimes, you got coaches coming in, and, we're going to start from scratch, right? So no one has a spot, right? And so Miles Brogdon could compete and take the winning job to be the point guard. But I doubt it. I think he's going to be the sixth man of the year. And then I went Pat Bev. This takes me in real quick. I went Pat Bev. It's just because from the mentality aspect of it, he brings the roughness that he needs to the Lakers. Like everyone can get talk to, and that's what I like about Pat Bev. Pat Bev is going to talk to everyone, and so defense is what they really is one of the things they really struggle at. Besides health, because the health was a problem with LA, but defense was a real thing because defense can make up for a bad offense. So. Yeah.
What do you think about Aaron Gordon getting like a second life over in Denver?
I think it's cool because the thing that's waiting in the wing right now, who I slept on, is Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. coming, a healthy Jamal Murray. That team's a problem. That team's a problem too. But hey,
possible 50-win team right there.
Hey, I don't know if y'all got to watch the Pelicans and y'all seen Zion lately. Oh my God!
I mean, he put the gumbo down. He been picking the weights up.
He got to cook. Nutritionist.
I say, hey, Zion.
I mean, because like him being like close to 300 pounds and moving like that at 6'4", it wasn't healthy.
Nope.
Yeah, but
and like you see what happened to him at Duke, like just being that size and that powerful, blowing shoes up. Then it went to like just getting hurt. You see it with guys who are really big and who are really strong for their sport. A lot of times, it's not even the actual movements or somebody hitting them that hurts them. It's their own body trying to protect itself, and it just overcorrects, and then boom, something hurt.
And I'm not gonna lie, and I'm gonna let E go. I know E's itching to go. Size play a factor because I got to watch the Warriors. Listen, a healthy James Wiseman and that kid, was it Mooney, number 4? Who's the number 4? Is it Mooney?
I believe so. Looney.
No, that's Looney. There's another kid. There's a kid that they really play like that last year, number 4. I think it's
Kaminga.
Kaminga's 0-0. Kaminga's 0-0.
0-0. You're right.
No, you talking about the one he got the red hair? Then they sent him overseas, didn't they?
No. He's black. He got cornrows and stuff. Anyway, if you take a good look, and good point. That's a guy to bring up too. But no, wrong dude though. Wrong dude. They got the backup point guard, DaVincio, that used to something like that. He used to play for Villanova. He went to go play. He was the backup point guard for the Bucks. They got him too.
Oh,
anyway,
did they?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm looking at
DiVincenzo.
Yeah. I'm looking at the size that the Warriors has. Listen, I'm gonna say it right now. They might repeat.
You're right. Hey, look, it's Moody. Moody, that's what it is. Moody.
Because listen, Wiseman was Moody.
The only reason I ain't bring them up, I wasn't going to bring them up for offseason moves is because they're pretty much just maintaining with what they got.
Yeah, they just maintain what they got.
And they got guys, those young guys like you just mentioned, coming back healthy. So I agree with you though. Until somebody beats them, as far as ranking as who's best team in the NBA, at least in the West, I still got them at top.
Because that core buys in, man. That core buys in year after year.
Yeah, but it's gonna be, man. You talk about Wild West though, because they got some teams out there now. Like I said, you got a healthy Denver is a problem. A healthy Pelicans is a problem. A LA team that actually gets it clicking is a problem. A healthy LA Clippers.
That's what I was gonna say. Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about the Lakers. They might be some boo-boo, but Clippers. Yeah, healthy, they're gonna be a problem. And that's one of the teams I had as a honorable mention, because it's really them just bringing guys back and keeping a lot of their core. So they didn't make a lot of moves. But to your point, though, on the Nuggets, that's why I had them number one as far as offseason with the moves that they made. Re-signing the MVP, Jokic. Like you said, bringing back those guys who are injured now, they're definitely going to be a problem this year. My next, I was looking at Atlanta was one of the teams you guys, I don't think anybody mentioned yet.
No.
So,
oh yeah,
they got your boy Murray.
The two guard.
Yeah, so they got a lot of guys now, and they feel they got bigger at the wings with some of the guys they also picked up, which I think they needed some size on that perimeter. So I'm looking forward to see what they do with all these new guys that they picked up. I think it makes them better as an entire team now. So they could move up in the standings from what they did last year. So I'm really liking that. Boston, you guys already mentioned, was my third. Again, for all the reasons we already talked about with Brogdon and not having to give up any of their core. You still got the same core young guys on the team. My only concern about Boston has nothing to do with their roster, but with everything happening outside, off the field, basically with the coach and all that. So seeing how they respond to that will be, I'm looking to see how they respond to that, I should say, and what they do despite all of those off the field issues with the coach and everything else going on with the organization. So hopefully they can battle through that. Maybe that'll galvanize them and get them to play harder because of that, especially for the interim coach or whatever happens with the coaching. But we'll see. And then you guys already mentioned Timberwolves, so I won't rehash the Timberwolves. Same reasons you mentioned, getting him out, getting Karl-Anthony Towns out of the paint now that he can play like he wants to play and not have to defend in the paint. Rudy Gobert can do that. Hopefully they work out spacing issues. I don't know if Edwards can shoot from the perimeter all that well. He can, but if he continues to improve and get better, it may not be an issue for them, but we'll see. And then lastly, one of the teams I don't think anybody's mentioned so far was 76ers. I feel that the 76ers, with the additions of PJ Tucker,
Question. What is PJ Tucker's strength to a team right now? This veteran leadership?
I think he's one of those glue guys. The defense, or at least the intelligence, the toughness, and he can still stretch the floor.
Who do you feel when you say the defense, who do you feel he stopped lately? Because somebody brought him up.
I would say he's not. I mean, you're not stopping anybody in the league nowadays. But making smart smart plays on the floor. Okay. He's one of those guys I think you can rely on, as opposed to one of the issues I have with your boy Westbrook to talk about the Lakers. I don't feel that he makes a lot of smart plays when it matters, which is why that's my real only issue. I don't even talk about like guys shooting. I think his shooting means NBA, but everybody talks about, oh, his shooting is terrible. That's why Westbrook ain't all that. I think it's the decision making that he makes, especially down the stretch. So yeah, you can fill up the box sheet, but making the right plays to help your team win, ultimately, that's where I have personally an issue with Westbrook. So to talk about the Lakers, I don't feel they did anything really to make me feel like they moved the needle with anything they did in the offseason. I like Pat Bev, that's a plus, but I feel there's still weaknesses to their team.
Go ahead, I like the intensity he brings.
Yeah.
But I feel like Pat Bev and PJ Tucker are like right there with each other in the sense of what they bring to the team. You mean it's like a mentality,
right?
Availability. You mean, because that's becoming a big thing right now in the NBA. You mean the best ability is availability, right? Consistency. You mean, which is something that E's touched on. You mean you get something from them consistently from night in, night out, and everything.
Yeah, it's been very consistent.
I guess another thing to plug in with the glue thing is, again, you have someone on your team that's going to challenge you. Like, they're not always your yes man. You mean they're going to let you know, like, hey, bro, like you need to do these things. That's why I said Pat Bev is a big addition to the Lakers from a defensive standpoint. Now, offensively, LA is a whole different talk. You mean in the sense of how they're going to go about things, because you got two guys that are kind of one and the same. You got two guys that are both ball dominant. And plus, also, you got two guys that are ball dominant in two different ways. Like LeBron is half court ball dominant. Russell Westbrook is full court ball dominant. You mean like Russell struggles with a half court offense, especially if it's not really ran through him.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll bring a honorable mention. Detroit. Now, again, I'm sure that we talked about because they're not going to win nothing, of course.
Where's my mute button?
But I like what I'm just saying. But like what they did, they got Knox, they got your boy Ivy in the draft, and Duran. Duran is that how you say his name? But I like these pickups for them moving forward in the future. So I'm just saying, as far as the moves they made, I think it was smart for that team. And yeah, like I said, I wouldn't rank them up high just because it's not going to really ultimately move them to a playoff appearance or anything like that. But I think it moves them in the right direction, similar to like in Atlanta. But Atlanta is going to be a playoff team.
I think it's easy though for those teams in the East to be a playoff team.
How so?
You
don't
can
think there's competition in the East?
You can make it to the playoffs in the East and be bottom 500. Let's not act like we have not seen that before.
We have seen that before, but I think right now you got how many teams that are going to be competing for like 6 through 3?
So, you want to knock them out?
Who's
knock out? All right. Who's always
So who you got 1 and 2? Milwaukee,
Nets,
and Nets. You saying Nets in Milwaukee probably gonna win the most games? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So then,
Sixers.
who you got 3? Sixers. 4.
Boston.
Right. 5.
Who the fuck cares?
Atlanta.
I don't know.
Atlanta, Miami.
Miami.
Miami
Might mess around be 3 or 4.
Right. So those, that's what I'm saying. You got a lot of competition, right? Any of those teams could be all the way to number 1 or all the way to 5 or 6.
Yeah, but I'm talking about that. I'm talking about from 6 through 8, though. Like that 6 through 8, it's a struggle bus. And we've seen that. Like it's been like those 6 through 8 be a struggle bus. Like you talk about Detroit, and I'm like,
Well, no, I was simply talking about the moves they made. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs or anything like that.
Oh, you're right.
But I'm just talking about the moves they made. I think they did some of the best moves out of all the teams. That's strictly what I'm not talking about predictions for the season. That's not what I'm talking about.
All right.
Okay. I mean, speaking of the moves, though, I got a question. So I remember during like time of the bubble, activism was like really big inside of like the NBA and the sports world in general. Do y'all still feel activism is as strong as it was during those times, or was it actions that propelled activism in those moments? Because we don't have players, having like different things on the back of their jerseys like they did, where they were able to change their name on the back of the jersey. Was that just to appease people during that time? We don't see like the shirts with the activism, like their displays of certain things going forth. Is it more so just a show when it's relevant, or is activism is it a 24/7 thing that should be around for sports?
I think you might have answered the question.
No bull.
But no, I think you're spot on. Yes, I think it was the moment where people it was trending, right? So I think, yes, you saw at that moment in time, because of the events happening around the United States, all the sports doing something. I mean, hell, you even had NASCAR, putting things out and doing stuff, supporting Black Lives Matter. Now, for instance, only thing I think I see in that type of nature is like the NFL. NFL on the back of the helmets, you still got things like Black Lives Matter or stuff like that, these guys putting on their helmets. Yeah, watch the tape. You'll see people with things on the back of their helmet.
Now?
Yes, right now, yes. I've seen. I haven't seen anything on the NBA side like they were, like you talked about with the jerseys and whatnot. So I think it has died down. I can't say that the players don't care as much as they did then. They probably do, especially the black players, but I don't feel that it is in the forefront like it was at that time.
So with that being said, do you feel something like activism should always be in the forefront when it comes to people with voices like this? Or when it's times that they are called to speak up and stand out, they should? Because, we have people like Maya Moore who pretty much just backed away for the game to do her activism. And then, I said, this is not trying to knock any athletes. I'm curious of what people think about it. Because, they'll say, all right, you're active while this is going on. But are there, of course, like we know NFL, they have Man of the Year, where somebody has a cause that they fight for. Is there something for that in the NBA? Or they kind of have their own thing that we don't really talk about?
I'm not sure about that, but I would agree. I would say personally for me, I guess my opinion on it would be everybody's not called to be an activist.
Not everybody.
So I think for the players that are called, like you said, Maya Moore and others that have done something similar, 100% do what you feel is best for you and what you think can help your movement or whatever you're fighting for. But that was part of the reason why I guess I won't say I looked at it side eye, but when all that was happening, I'm like, okay, half of y'all just doing it because it's trending. So that's just the nature of humans and human beings, especially in our society today. They just hop on the bandwagon. They want to do what everybody else is doing, not really doing it because that's what they truly believe in. So I want people who truly believe in it, absolutely do that. Everybody else, like if you don't really have a dog in the fire, you really don't care. All right, chill out, sit aside, and don't just do it just to placate. Or for example, like the Democrats when they put on the dashikis and took a knee up there at the Capitol, like, come on, dog, kill that noise.
I mean,
y'all don't really care.
Is it possible to be a 24/7 activist though?
I think, yeah.
I think it's possible, but I think it's unlikely.
Yeah, like where would you do this at? Where would you partake in a 24/7 style kind of activism? I mean, that's more so something somebody might do like on a college campus where they have, more areas to assemble, more people that they have access to. So I'll just bring it up as a talking point. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I would say they can do it all the time now with technology. You got access to people 24/7 with social media.
I mean, they can do it all the time. They can do it all the time by just putting on their own podcasts and stuff. You got plenty of players coming out having podcasts and stuff, but they don't touch on it. And I feel like that I feel like guys got to see past themselves. You feel me? Like actually, like how we like so, like a leader like yourself, Maul. You feel me? You're thinking past sports. You mean you're thinking about the people. You mean, which I commend you on that. You mean, because we could always sit down, talk about girls, we could talk about money, we could talk about sports. You feel me? But we talk about the stuff that that hits you to be like, hey man, how come you start talking about such and such? Or how come because it's one of those things. It still happens every day, whether you believe it or not. Like profiling happens every day. You mean not getting a job because of your skin color happens every day.
Yeah, like people, they're actually naming their children more resume-friendly names, but actually now getting passed up for people just looking for diversity hires, they're saying.
Right.
So we're looking at possibly people who are not people of color with more ethnic names coming forward just to get these jobs now.
Right. Because I know this is another topic that I can't wait to talk about because I was having this off-topic conversation about the black quarterback, and one of my boys asked me, is black quarterbacks getting critiqued harder now or more back then? And I told him now. I think they're getting critiqued harder now.
Yeah, that's another
to be
That's another
yeah,
that's
we
another
can talk
thought.
about
But
that, of course. We'll circle back to that.
yeah, but I'm bringing up the point though, in the sense of, you know, that having that conversation.
Uh-oh, you mute yourself.
You're muted.
So call me. I had a mute person. Anyways, having that conversation needs to be on a regular, just for the educational piece of it, not just to talk about it. You know what I mean? Because it's one of those things where, like, hey, let's try, keyword, to grow from this.
So do you feel it should be almost indoctrinated to young athletes that when they hit the pros, they have a voice, and that voice should be used to help more than so? I mean, because a lot of them, it like I said, granted, I understand not everybody can, because not everybody has a guaranteed check. And I would never want somebody to jeopardize what they feel might be their prime opportunity for their best money earning at that age in that particular time. Because I don't want to limit anybody to just sports being their only source of income. But I get it. Once you have that resume of NFL on there, that opens doors for you regardless. There's going to be something you can do in the realm of sport, especially once you have NFL on your resume, no matter how many years you've done it. You're going to take that and you're going to market that somehow. But is it safer now for athletes to stand up for something? Can they have an active voice? Because before it seemed like, oh, if you say something, you're out. If you say something that we don't like, you're gone. You know,
Actually, to answer your question, sorry, not to cut you off. I think it's safe for those higher tier players, not those lower tier players. Because the lower tier players have family fees, and they're really thinking about their money, versus the higher tier, you mean they're gonna get more backup and support versus the lower tier. Not to say the lower tier won't get support, but the higher tier can risk a backlash. You follow what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. Like
LeBron.
LeBron can risk it over Darius Garland. Even though he's a first round draft pick, he doesn't have that pull with the media yet, where he's going to get the attention to actually keep him around.
I'll go lower than Darius Garland. I'll go low like Alex Lynn. Alex Lynn be like,
you know his name, but you would, like I said, you wouldn't miss him on the roster tomorrow.
Right. But see, the NBA is a different beast than the NFL though, because like the NBA, it's really a players league in the NBA versus like the NFL. It's really like you don't like it. You know, we talked about it last time about slavery and everything. This is it.
Right. NFL we'll find somebody else to replace you.
Okay, we'll find somebody who, oh, you said something? Oh, get your ass out. You know what I mean? Right. But you gave this guy like a 5-year, $90 million contract. It's gonna be hard to get his ass out.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is, what are you fighting? I think two things, right? This is why I say they have to be passionate about it, because you really got to believe in it. If you're going to risk, like you said, financial gains, marketing, other opportunities on whatever that fight is. So I think like right now you have a lot of, I think the question comes up because I think a lot of people feel like there's this constant fight, right? With the Black Lives Matter, thing like that. So it's like never ending. You're still fighting. So y'all still need to be out here being active and doing stuff. I think that's kind of where this question is kind of coming from. So it's a never ending thing that these guys are doing. So that's why I say some guys are fighting different ways. So it doesn't always have to be something as blatant, like what's his name? Well, I forget this boy's name on the 49ers taking a knee.
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick. There you go. It could be other things that they're doing behind the scenes that you never even see or know about. Yeah. Right. So it's all about how you do it, what you're fighting against, and things of that nature determines whether or not they will receive any backlash or any punishment from the team, right? So that's why I say it all depends on the person and if they really got a passion for it. That's why I say it's not just everybody all the time out here being an activist. That's unrealistic.
Yeah, but I think though, to get back to Marlon's point, a lot of times it just takes one person to start. You know what I mean? We don't need so many just to jump out. At least one. You mean, like I said, like it's just so crazy now. Like I was watching Jalen Ramsey's podcast. I was like, oh, he got a podcast? I said, of course he will, because he wants to control the narrative. I'm like, but how about you use your time in your pod to talk about things that the people need to hear, so they could battle forward instead of being stuck.
Yeah, I think it comes down to your
good
value.
Topic,
look at your boy.
Good talk. It's that
I
type.
like. I mean, I like us diving into different things too.
Yeah,
it's important. People, they want to regulate athletes to one or two things, but we're all complex people when we have to break it down. You're not just you're not just a job title. You're not just a profession.
Right.
You're a complete person. Well, yeah, it's a great pod today, fellas.
Yeah, that was a good one. Hey, for all the viewers, man, hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment and leave a question. Actually, tell us a topic that we should talk about that we probably be missing on.
Let us know.
All right, good. That was good. But I'm out.
Holla.
Sure.
All right.